Long time no see, and welcome back, everybody. My name is Braxophone, for those of you who don't know me, but most of you who do know me, who are seeing this new recommended and subscription feed. Hello, I think it's been like 2 weeks. Genshin content can get pretty dry if you're constantly making videos on it and streaming it, so I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about, and so I kind of left for a little bit. But the new patch update that dropped this morning is looking real good. There's lots of new stuff that we're going to be able to talk about. Though it doesn't necessarily change any longevity problems or endgame problems, there's a lot of temporary stuff to hold us over, so those of you who are casual fans of the game, you'll probably love this update, and you're not going to have any problems with the endgame part of it. For those of you who are more on the hardcore or play a lot side, you may run into trouble. But anyways, there's lots of great things that came out of the stream this morning. Lots of new characters, lots of new areas, new puzzles, new story. The story I'm so excited for. It's going to be great. One thing kind of stood out to me though as pretty disappointing, and that is the weapon banner changes that they've made. Not that I think that the changes are bad, but I think they're not good enough. So let me explain a little bit, because this is something that we should discuss if you're thinking about pulling on the weapon banner as a free-to-play, or if you're just a whale that's going to continue to pull on the weapon banner. First off, I will say that the change is good. I will say the change is good. It's a needed change. We obviously need some kind of pity on the weapon banner that allows us to guarantee something. Because if we don't have it, then you end up with a tectone situation where you get like 50 Wolves Gravestones before you get one Staff of Homa, and then you owe Mihoyo as much money as you owe the government for your student loans. And you know, with the nature of the game being a gacha, it makes sense that you'd end up spending a lot of money for something like that, but it's a little bit too much, and honestly, I think the weapon banner in this game may be greedier than in a lot of other games. Take what I say with a grain of salt. I don't play a ton of other gacha games, but though the character banner is really nice in Genshin, the weapon banner is not. So my rule has always been don't pull on the weapon banner unless there's two weapons that you want from it. Like if you wanted the Staff of Homa and Wolf's Gravestone, then it was good to pull on that weapon banner because you had a 75% chance of getting what you wanted out of it. We've seen a couple other banners that are good enough to be like that, but it's not something that I would recommend to people who are free to play unless you're absolutely sure that you need one of those weapons. So now people are saying the playing field has changed, right? Oh, this makes it easier for free to players to get a weapon they want, or like, oh, this makes it easier for anyone. The problem is that it doesn't actually it doesn't actually work. They made a new system where basically you choose one weapon that you want from the banner at the start. Once you've chosen that weapon and locked it in, you get fates or like fate points or something that build up towards that weapon that you want. So essentially, if you roll on the weapon banner, you get a 5-star that's not the weapon you want, and they didn't specify if it has to be event legendary or not, so I don't know if it can just be any 5-star or if it specifically has to be the event 5-star. But essentially, every time you don't get the 5-star that you selected at the start of the banner, you're going to get one fate point, or whatever you want to call them, towards the one that you did select. So the thing is, people are like, oh, it's only 2 fate points and you get the 5-star, right? But no, that's not actually how it works. You need to get the 2 fate points and then you need to roll another 5-star. So potentially in an absolutely worst case scenario with no pity buildup and hitting hard pity every time, you're looking at about 240 rolls to guarantee you get the 5-star weapon you want. And that's not necessarily very free to play friendly or even dolphin friendly. It is extremely whale friendly, and I would argue that's a very necessary change in general, but I still think it's a little too aggressive. Now, I will say that it is possible to save up as a free-to-play player and guarantee the weapon you want, but it's still very aggressive and kind of over the top. It takes more than it would to guarantee a character. So ultimately, this change only really ends up being good for people who are going to already dump a ton of money into the game. Now, again, I'm not saying this is bad. I think that we absolutely need it. Even for whale players, it sucks to not have a guarantee on the weapon that you're trying to get. So I think that this is a good compromise for whale players. I do not think this is a good compromise for the general player base. Now you might be thinking, Brax, what are you talking about? We should be grateful for this. What you're saying isn't going to change anything, and they actually made a really good change to the weapon banner, so we should just be happy with it. And I think that that's a dangerous mindset when you're criticizing a game. Again, I think there were so many amazing things about this patch, and I'm really excited to talk about all of them as we get more and more videos out. Like the new artifact sets and everything are so cool looking. Honestly, they look like they are going to be best in slot for so many characters. All this great stuff, but I do think it is worth addressing that some of the changes that they are going with aren't necessarily ones that we need as a community in comparison to ones they could implement. Like, for example, if they wanted to keep this fate system, but they made it so you only had to get like one weapon off of that, then it would be like much more acceptable, right? Because at that point, it is actually accessible to players. If you want to save up for Yoimiya and you want to save up for Yoimiya's bow, then you could have started saving well, I guess you wouldn't have really known unless you looked at leaks. But if you looked at leaks, you could have started saving a long time ago, right? And then you would would actually be able to get her and her bow on a guarantee, as opposed to what you have now, where you're basically gonna have to spend money unless you are the most patient person on the planet saving up all of your primos. And I don't know, I'm just disappointed with it. I think that like it's a really great change. I would like if they gave us a little bit more free to play and low spender friendly stuff for the weapon banner, because it does feel like they're still of the mindset of if we give them just a little bit, they'll be satisfied, and we can keep giving them like drips and drips of potential fixes until eventually they are satisfied with those potential fixes. The developers of Genshin Impact know that this expansion is going to be a banger. They know that everyone's going to roll on all these characters, and they know that everyone's going to try to go for the weapons if they're whaling. And I think a lot of people will get the character and then try to go for the weapon. But the problem is that, you know, with the fates wiping after each banner and you not being able to keep the fate points towards the next weapons that you want to get, that is one of the most disappointing things that I've heard of this patch. So I mentioned one fix was to either make it one weapon pity, so basically you get one weapon that you don't want and then the next 5 stars guaranteed. I think another one is, again, keeping those weapon fates as they carry over. So maybe you can still redesignate which one you want, but maybe you still have like the fate points that you wanted towards a different weapon on the next banner. So like if the next banner after Ayaka's sword was Jade Cutter and you put everything towards Ayaka's sword, you got the 1 or 2 fate points, you didn't get Ayaka's sword, then you go on to the next banner and you get Jade Cutter. I just think that's like such a better and friendlier way to do it. I understand Mihoyo has to make money, but they already are kind of competing with Fortnite for sales, so I don't really understand why this isn't something they could do. That's just food for thought. I want to talk about some more of the changes as things go on, but I wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of people are misunderstanding what the weapon banner changes actually mean or how valuable they actually are. They're not super great unless you're already a whale player, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but this seems to be the general consensus, and that's actually how the weapon banner works. Anyways, if you want to see more updates on Genshin Impact and see some more build guides and things, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We are having a giveaway over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Braxphone, where we'll be giving away 3 Gene skins. All you have to do is click on the Twitter link in the description and follow those steps, and then you'll be entered into the giveaway. You don't have to be present at the live stream to win the giveaway, though I would appreciate it if you were there, just because it helps me contact you a little bit easier. And make sure to share this video with a friend who doesn't understand the weapon pity. See everyone. Have a good, I don't even have a watch. Have a good weekend.